Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. I'm trying to get this out before all the little kids that I call the anthill mob rise, because they seem to not, I don't know, when I was a little kid you'd be in bed at like 7 o'clock or whatever. Now it's probably 10 o'clock. They're out playing in the street till 9:30 and they rise about 11. Hard life. So to be 5 again, or 6 or 7. Anyway, I digress. It's 6mm Normandy project time. These are the ones I showed a while ago that were, I'd half finished. Mainly it was the bases and stuff. They're more or less a carrier platoon um, of Bren carriers, and I think I've got still one Lloyd carrier there as well. So again, these can be used for most areas. You could, let's face it, wargaming pieces. You could use them for Italy or other parts of, the Netherlands, Belgium, all that type of stuff. But yeah, it was basically I've got a Battle of the Odon book, and I was really impressed with how it broke down different unit actions. So I thought I'd base them roughly along that lines, where they've already gone inland. However, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was it Battle in a Cave? Wargaming in a Cave? I can't remember exactly. But he'd got, can't remember this either. It probably 20mm, I think, and he was doing one of the, I can't remember even if it was Gold Beach, Juno, or Sword. But he was doing the landings. He got a couple of big landing craft tanks and landing craft infantry, all that type of stuff. And I was being tempted to get a few 6mm for the actual landings as well. We'll see. But yeah, so Bren carrier. These are supposed to be like coniferous type trees, the pointy ones I do. Probably want a good deal a bit darker too. I'm not really sure if it looks like a coniferous tree, but it is 6mm. The little paint dots you see when I put them on the grass, they're supposed to be represent like wildflowers, poppies and stuff. It was that time of year, so I do them also. I do the British vehicles lighter, well, German ones as well. I've done a few German tanks that I'd had in the stash, old ones, Heroics and Ross. These are, I believe they're all, what are they, Gav? They are Baccus. I believe they're Baccus that I bought as a company deal. I don't get the decals only because for the price of them, I just don't think for the scale it's particularly worth it. What I've noticed in a lot of my Normandy books, that they've got a fair amount of this honey-coloured stone. I know I show this more of I could lighten it up, I suppose, the dirt, but you tend to find when you've got a lot of vegetation, it tends to it does around here anyway. If you've got we've got a lot of sandstone, just a couple of miles down the road, and although there's a lot of sandy areas, anywhere where there's trees and vegetation, it tends to go a bit darker. That's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it. But there's a lot of like these monumental walls. This isn't particularly supposed to be like a dry stone wall type of thing. But I'd noticed they've got a lot of places that have got old medieval walls and stuff like that. Obviously, all in bits of disrepair. And I took it from looking at the black and white photographs. Most of the disrepair, although obviously not all of it, tended to be historic rather than, obviously there's going to be explosions. Let's face it. HMS Warspite was HMS Belfast, and obviously American ships as well. But I'm talking about mainly bombarding on for the British sector. This is a Lloyd carrier, mainly for carrying towing the 6-pounders in the battalion anti-tank platoon. Very nice, that one is too. Another Bren. And this is just the not scatter, the woodland scenics that you're supposed to put on, I believe, the trees. I've got a few bags and like tubs of it, and once it's stuck down, I just put watered down PVA over the top just to harden it off, give it something for the paint to go on. You don't have to paint them. I just like to put different shades on. Um, the infantry, the older ones I'd done, they're all Baccus, but I painted them with like the English uniform, as they call it, from I think Vallejo, and it's obviously good for 28mm and stuff. But I just found for 6mm it's quite dark, so I have gone with golden brown on these, and the Lee Enfield rifles. I've gone like with the um, couldn't be even cadmium red, which is like orange, um, just to get them to stand out a bit more. I've added the rocks on some of these other ones I hadn't done on the previous ones I've shown you. I've done it more just to, again, just something to see really. I mean, these trees could be bocage, it could be these could be going along a hedgerow, or it could just be just a couple of trees out there. We've got one guy. Yes, I'd stuck them all down before I decided to make it a bocage. so he's a bit lost in there. There was only three. I'd got a miscast, and I couldn't really do anything with it. So there's just three on that base. We've got a officer and a signaller next to him, and a couple of runners should they need to take orders. I usually go around the grass as well with a bit of a Thai rubber black. It's a bit thick there actually. I might have to tone that one down a bit, but just to make it stand out a bit more. Again, another brain carrier. They're really nice, these Baccus vehicles. There might be 2 videos going up today. I mean, I'm putting a lot. It's just, I always say this, I don't put them up for the sake of videos, putting them up. I don't see the point in that. But we've got a 3-inch mortar here from the mortar platoon. Again, this, I mean, you can, in your own mind, it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be part of a building that's been obviously damaged in the fight, in a barn or something like that, because it had a lot of this honey colour. And when you go back to the Normandy buildings that are still there now, they've still got all the splat marks on the walls and stuff from the fighting, and they are like a lot of them are a honey colour, not all. And again, I've done that. That it can be anything. It can be a busted up side of a barn. It can be an old medieval monastery type thing that they've, it's fallen, been in disrepair, fallen down. Because I've seen some of the fighting around those type of places as well. Videos. Mara, the channel Richard sent me. You saw if any of you saw the opening of the care package he gave me. I was so intrigued by the 1-in-1/400 scale aircraft. I've really got I've actually got one coming. More on that in a bit. But I've just fancied doing the unboxing of those 2 Great War aircraft for you to have a look at if you fancy it. So I haven't got any more 6mm on the go at the moment. As I say, I have got the Germans to do. I'm going to be really careful how I do this, because although it's wargaming, YouTube isn't particularly friendly to anything like that. So we'll have to be talking generics. Maybe we'll call them Martians or something. I've got those to paint, which I shall do probably now. Not now, but I'll start cleaning them up. And what I normally do with all my little projects, I've got that many on the go, I will clean them, prime them, and then they go in different boxes waiting to the fad to do them. With this project, I've wanted to keep going with it, just keep picking it up, get some done. It's no particular, because I've really got a thing. I will war game these. It's just when I've got enough, and I'm feeling in the right mood to do it. I'm not even. As I say, I probably use the O group battle, the war game drills. I think Two Fat Lardies do those for like company and battalion. I think is it company and battalion size rules. And I just enjoy doing them. As I say, all these little things, they're just like little scenic. You can just put basic. And I know some people don't always want to see a tree moving along the battlefield attached to a vehicle or something. I get that. And not some of the more in-depth ones I build, but I just enjoy is that they're all little scenes. You get to, these might be tiny little blokes, but you get the feeling of what they're doing, if that makes sense. And at some stage, I would like to do the Americans in and Germans in the Ardennes, but even 6mm, it's not cheap. So I'll just do them when I've got the money to send off. Because you know what it's like with postage. Although the firms do tend to try and keep the postage down to get you to obviously buy stuff, it is a case of, you know, I don't want to just say send off for 2 packs of tanks, say. So I'll try and get a bit more together. So I will do some more. I definitely need some. What does Gav need? I'll get me some Churchill tanks. I love the Churchill anyway. Churchill, because all I've got at the moment is it's not Crusader, is it? You know the ones. It's gone. But the ones, when I've flashed them up until you all know the ones that were operating in Normandy. Gav think, no, it's gone. But I'd like some Churchills. I need some Shermans. I've got no Shermans at all. Because they could be used for Canadians and obviously British, Poles, and obviously Netherlands, you know, all that stuff. So I want to get some of those. I'm going to have to get. I mean, everybody wants Tigers, but I'm going to have to get a couple of Tigers. Probably my favourite, the Marquis, just because I haven't got any, and they were in Normandy. There were a small number of King Tigers, I think with Porsche turrets in Normandy, but it was more likely to find one of the Model E's. So I'll probably get, you know, I think they do them in 2 or 3, you know, in a bag. So I'll get some Tigers. I need some Stugs. I've got lots of half tracks from the old heroics. Some of them are slightly. The heroic ones, obviously, the heroics and Ross are slightly smaller than probably the more modern stuff from Baccus and that. But need to get a couple more Panthers. I've got loads of Mark IVs. Might get a couple of like some form of British armoured cars. You know, there's little things. Probably get some lorries as well. And then it's really, do I want to actually do a beach one? Because if you do that, then you've got to go back and buy more. This isn't all in one go. You go back and get like your flails and the crabs, all that type of stuff, the bobbins. So yeah, you know, there's loads of stuff you can get. And as I say, I just add to them when I fancy doing some more. So to go and do an Ardennes one, you know, that's a lot. So probably next year or the year after if I'm still around. So anyway, I'm waffling, aren't I, as usual? These videos wouldn't be half as long if I just kept to I would say kept to the script, but I don't even write one. So yeah, I hope that's interesting to any guys that like 6mm. I really enjoy these small, you know, small ones. You know, you can do more with them if that makes sense. I believe on a board. Some people don't even put them on bases, well, the vehicles anyway, or even have smaller bases. But I just wanted mine to tell little stories in themselves. So yeah, you look after yourselves. I hope that's been of interest, and thank you very much for stopping by and giving me some of your time today. Look after yourselves.